So I've been shopping around for appliances since my home is coming really soon, and something I found out is that many retailers these days do give and can give you 0% installment plans. So in the past video we talked about buy now pay later becoming a threat from consumers like us because we end up overspending. However, in this video let's talk about when should we be paying full cash and when should we be using installments. So before we jump in, just as a disclaimer, my financial setup can be very different from yours, so take whatever's valuable information from this video and you gotta adjust it to your own.
Adjust quickly.
So installments is a sum of money due as one of the several payments for something spread over an agreed period of time. So very much like buy now pay later, you purchase something today, you pay 1/3 of it and the remaining is split over 2 months. So if you miss a payment, there will be fees involved.
Insurance, delivery fee, twine fee, folding fee.
However, with buy now pay later, there are some limitations like availability of merchants, the purchase limits, and shorter repayment periods. So many people do enjoy buy now pay later because the repayment period is much shorter at 3 months as compared to credit cards where installment programs can be repayment periods of like 6, 12, or 36 months. So since we are looking for stuff for our new place, this means that a lot of spending will be done because of renovations and appliances, which based on my budget comes out to roughly $35,000 for minimal renovations and another $15,000 to $20,000 for appliances and furniture. So for example, air conditioning unit costs roughly $4,500, fridge is about $3,000, washing machine comes up to maybe $1,000, $2,000, and the TV will come up to about $1,000. Ceiling fans about $400 each, so the amount does add up and it can be really huge. But for us, we've been thinking through and we will probably go with installment plans for the following reasons. So with installments, we get access to purchase larger items. Definitely we could put out cash to purchase those items, but it will eat into our emergency funds, which isn't something fun.
Okay, not that fun.
So you see, if we were to purchase an air conditioning system for let's say $4,000, this is something that we can easily pay off. If we paid full in cash, this reduces our cash flow by $4,000. But with installments, let's say over a period of 12 months, this means that we only pay $333 every single month for the next 12 months, which is still palatable. And by doing so, this gives us cash flow which can then be used to pay other stuff for other purchasers that only accepts cash payments. And the second benefit that comes with these installment programs is that if you're purchasing on installments, there's a caveat here that you only use 0% installment programs because it makes more sense and only buy things that you need. And since inflation is at 5% in Singapore, your $1,000 today will only be able to purchase $950 of stuff in the next 12 months. So theoretically, if the installment plan is 0%, this allows you to lock in the price of the appliance that you're looking to purchase at today's price and pay with money in the future. And most majority electrical appliances or furniture stores like Best Denki, Gain City, Harvey Norman, or even IKEA allows you to split your payments up to 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, or even 36 months. But for me, I think splitting up payments into 12 or 6 months will be the maximum that I'll go for because having installments to constantly pay for can be really tiring. And at the same time, sometimes there are some promotions where you get cashback or rebates for your appliances with installment plans, which is really beneficial. So I'll be jotting down all the purchases that we make for our new place and where we purchase these items from, and hopefully that will be a guide for those of you who are getting your homes in the future. And if you do appreciate all the work that goes into videos like this, dropping a like will help us a ton. And lastly, while paying with installment, this helps us preserve our emergency funds as well. So let's say for example, if you're planning to start a family, having emergency funds is something that is of utmost importance. And as we all know, having a kid or child in Singapore is really expensive. The checkups, the milk powder, the diapers, and all those stuff can actually burn a big hole in the bank account. And therefore, with installment plans, it helps us to continue saving and investing while we pay off the purchase that we have for our homes. So those are the pros for installments, but now let's talk about the cons. So installments at the end of the day are still a form of debt, and we have talked about this many times, and that can be helpful to you, but it can also put you down. So before going on an installment plan, do consider these 3 points. So the first thing you need is to have very good budget management. So since installments can be done with different banks, One of the biggest risks that I think many of us will face is over-leveraging onto too many installment plans with different banks. So for example, if you have a $10,000 limit with 3 different banks, this can potentially mean that you can put yourself into a $3,000 off installment program, and if paid over 12 months, this equates to roughly $2,500 a month, which is a huge sum of money. So looking at a median salary in Singapore, which is roughly $4,563 before CPF, and after 20% of CPF contributions, this comes up to $3,650. And let's say a couple earns the same salary and splits the repayment, this means that the total household income is at $7,300. And if you less $2,500, this becomes $4,800 or $2,400 per person before accounting things like your expenses, your insurance, your utilities, your food, and transportation. So to be honest, $2,400 a month can be really tight, and this will be the life that you'll have for the next 12 months, which can be really stressful. But this is not the biggest problem yet. The biggest problem is the potential of overspending. So when we are given credit as a tool, we might end up overspending on things that we don't need. And this becomes a bigger problem because we end up with things that are placed everywhere in the house with no practical use. And when we overspend, we might even come into a situation of not being able to keep up with payments, and this is where everything starts to crumble and fall. So the banks offer you a 0% interest with the hopes of us, the consumers, not being able to keep up with payments. And the bank can then charge us a 24% interest on the amount that is unpaid, which can then become a rolling snowball that doesn't stop.
Well, okay, the snowball is rolling.
And the last con here is really just the emotional toll, in my opinion. So I'm someone that cannot live with the idea of owing somebody money, but with installment plans, this means that I'll be constantly repaying every single month for 12 months, which can be mentally tiring.
No, I'm tired of it.
Tired of what?
But if you're looking to purchase your appliances with cash, the pros are pretty straightforward. You do not owe anyone anything, and it's simple as that. However, paying with full cash has its cons as well. So one of the largest cons is the opportunity cost. Because someone that invests regularly like me, cash is a resource that allows me to put my money to work, which then earns me some interest and money for the future.
Crypto is the future of money.
And if you're paying in full cash today for appliances or furniture, this takes away the liquidity or the cash flow, which can then be an opportunity cost. So for example, let's say the stock market or maybe even Singapore savings bond suddenly gives a high return of investment and you are stuck with no cash. This means that you're not able to take advantage of the opportunity, which can give you better returns for the future. But at the end of the day, whether you are picking to pay with installment or with cash, the important thing to know is to have a budget set out so you know how much credit should you utilize and how much cash you should utilize so you will not be caught in a situation where your hands are tied, giving you no options.
I guess there's no other option.
So this brings me to the end of today's video. If you found the video today valuable, dropping us a like will help us a ton. Subscribe if you want more content about personal finance. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. And as always, stay safe, invest safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.